back and enjoy our first commentary of the afternoon. St Mirren up against Rangers with David Van Zandt and Kenny Miller and Liam McLeod.
Well, we did have Premiership action in the week, but this is really when season 23-24 is kick-started in the Premiership after that short break early in January as the two sets of players make their way out onto a sun-drenched pitch. But it's very cold here in Renfrewshire today. There are gusty winds as well. The conditions are not great, so they'll be doing well to put on a spectacle today, but we shall see. It's the third meeting this season. Rangers relatively comfortable winners in the other two games here and along the road in Glasgow. The first fixture was here in October. Rangers won it 3-0. That penalty scored by James Tavernier, Ryan Strain sent off when the scores were blank at that point, was crucial to the outcome. Tavernier scored their third. SMiSA had made it 2-0, and it was a SMiSA double that led to a Rangers victory at Ibrox at the start of last month. The St Mirren looked to end a long wait for a league win over the Ibrox side. You've got to go back to Christmas Eve 2011 when David Van Zandt was in the side. Aaron Moy on the score sheet along with Paul McGowan in a 2-1 victory over Rangers. McCulloch and Goyan were sent off for the visitors. Lee Wallace had given them an early lead, but it's just one win in the last 32 league meetings for St Mirren, and that dates all the way back to 2008. So it's a tall order for them. They do have pretty decent home form. The only Celtic, Rangers and Kilmarnock have won here since the start of last February when they lost to Hibs. They've only lost 8 home Premiership matches since the start of last season, so this is not an easy place to come and get points at if you're the visiting team. So just about ready to go then. It does look as though Rangers have won the coin toss and they've turned St Mirren, who will shoot right to left in this first half. The sun creeping through the stand off to our left is apparently pretty bad as well. That's going to inhibit the team shooting left, and in this first half, for us as we watch from the back of the main stand, that will be those in the black and white stripes. They're going to kick the game off here. Rangers in their change colours, as they were the other night in Edinburgh, the red and navy shirt with the navy shorts. St Mirren get the game underway, and the first of all 6 Premiership matches being played this afternoon has started, and we'll have all the action later in the top flight and across the other 3 divisions as well and beyond, as it goes out for a throw-in on this near side, which is bowled forward by Marcus Fraser, who's come out to the left to take it. It's immediately headed back out for another throw on this near side. Fraser down the line, looking to try and get Tanser involved. Kilty up there as well. Rangers able to clear. The bouncing ball's awkward for Dessers, who can't get onto it, and it's out for another St Mirren throw-in on this near side. And that's what Stephen Robinson will want, is to not have his side's opportunity of taking points from this inhibited by going a man down, as they did last time Rangers were in town, as Tavernier knocks it out for a goal kick eventually off one of the St Mirren players. It was Ayunga, and that's going to be a goal kick which Butland's taken short to Connor Goldson. That really was crucial, wasn't it, David? Because at that point, St Mirren 7 league games into the season, that was their first defeat.
Yeah, they were flying up until that point. You know, Rangers coming to town is always a difficult game, but when you go down to 10 men, you give away a penalty at the same time, you know, it becomes an almost impossible task. But they were well in the game up until that point last time, so fingers crossed they can do the same again.
I mean, a wonderful start to their season, their best start to a top division season in 3/4 of a century. That's how good it was. They're still mixing it in the top 6, falling off a little bit recently, but Connor Goldson picks up for Rangers and pings the ball forward to Sterling. Has started in that position left of the attacking midfield. Cantwell wriggling himself some space left hand side of the box. So to come off at half time in Edinburgh on Wednesday's fit to start the game. He's got it level with the penalty spot on the left. Back to Lundstrom, he can't resist the shot, which is comfortably held by Zach Hemming. Has proved to be a good acquisition for St Mirren this season. The first real attack of purpose in the game comes from Rangers, Kenny Miller.
Yeah, it was. Again, like you say, the questions have been answered. It's when Dujon Sterling's playing on that kind of left-hand side of the attack. That was a decent shot there for John Lundstrom, and really good handling for him in there, because he had Dessers breathing down his neck. Harry spilled it at all.
Saints have it with Mark O'Hara, who's got more goals against Rangers than he does any other club in his senior career, which is pretty incredible. Scored 6 times against them in the colours of Dundee initially, then with Saints. The skipper, as Goldson collects midway inside his own half and rolls it to John Souttar, who I thought looked much more comfortable the other night. He was playing on the right-hand side of the defence in Goldson's absence, beside Leon Balogun, who's been dropped to the bench today. Souttar moving back to the left to accommodate Goldson. It's picked up by Tavernier. Goes back to Goldson. Those two know each other's games so well. As Goldson pings it with the right foot, it's going to be a comfortable enough header away there by Elvis Pomono, one of the new recruits. Stephen Robinson, another couple on the bench today. And it's now with Lundstrom, plays it forward to right on the turn, breaks the way of Raskan just outside the box. Tavernier wide right of the St Mirren penalty area, level with the penalty spot. It comes the cross just behind right, and it's swept to safety by Greg Kiltie as Lundstrom pops it back onto halfway for Souttar. First time switch into the centre circle there along the deck to Lundstrom, who pings it out to Ridvan Yilmaz over on that far side. The Turk got Rangers first at Easter Road the other night. Here is Cantwell under serious pressure from Kwon. He's done brilliantly, the South Korean, to pinch it back for St Mirren, and he fires it out to the right, but he's unable to find Jameson, and it goes out for a throw-in to Rangers over there. But that was good play by Kwon. He's yet to make his Celtic debut. This is an opportunity for him to try and show everyone in Scotland what he can do, and it was good work from him to pinch it back for St Mirren initially, but he was off target with the pass.
Yeah, you could see Cantwell, he was trying to wriggle away, but he's kind of lost his foot in there in the middle of the pitch, and St Mirren had the first chance to really kind of counter on Rangers, and he's just overhit the pass. It was the right idea, but you can see this St Mirren team early, Liam, they're so compact, their back line's moving up well, their distances are good, they're in that 5-4-1 base shape when Rangers have got the ball. So this is going to be, it's a difficult afternoon for Rangers to break that down. Might take her to the second half when the game starts to open up, but as expected, Rangers in full control of the ball.
Poor pass from O'Hara allows Rangers back in. Souttar's come all the way up to the midway point of the St Mirren half. Out to Yilmaz, it's passed down the line, cut out by Jameson. Then breaks back the way to Souttar. He turns it back onto halfway for Lundstrom. Just about hit the 5-minute mark. 0-0. Here's Scott Wright popping it through, looking for Cantwell. He's overhit the pass though, and away it comes Hemming to hold on to it. He's been a good signing. I mentioned that earlier, David, after the opportunity was given to him. He was previously at Kilmarnock, of course, Zach Hemming, but he's been a decent signing, you have to say.
Yeah, he's been excellent this season. He's been one of the standout players for St Mirren. A brilliant acquisition by Stephen Robinson, who, to be fair, has done very, very well in the transfer market. He's building a really good squad here.
I think they were concerned when they lost Trevor Carson to Dundee about replacing him, but there you go, he's been excellent as it was out for a Rangers throw-in. On this near side, Tavernier bowling it back from the halfway line to Goldson, and he in turn was back to his keeper. I think the blessing for the St Mirren players, the sun has crept behind the clouds momentarily. It would make things difficult, particularly in the attacking half. So Lundstrom collects left of the centre circle for Cantwell, turns and faces the St Mirren goal, and then sweeps it out to this near side for Tavernier. Short low ball to Raskan. The challenge is good though from O'Hara. Now it's with Greg Kiltie on this near side, knocks it off Tavernier, and out of play for a throw-in on this near side to Saints, who were made to work last week by Queen of the South in the Cup. Alex Gogic popping up with the only goal, which took them through to the next round. Of course, they were the side who were handed the holder, Celtic, in round 5. Probably done without that. And it's launched forward by St Mirren through James Bolton into the Rangers half. And it breaks out to Pomono on that right flank. But Jameson to his right. Instead he goes more direct towards the edge of the box, where it's comfortably headed away by Souttar. Picked up by Bolton again, right of the centre circle, out to Pomono, who dinks it down the line. Kiltie can't get there, but he's got enough pressure on to force the Rangers defender Yilmaz to put it out for a throw into St Mirren, about level with the Rangers penalty spot. It's taken short to O'Hara. Back the way into the midfield, looking for Kwon, asking too much of him though. And then it's Cantwell who's hacked to the ground there by Kwon Hugh Q, and that will be a free kick to Rangers. And the referee, who is David Dickinson, this afternoon is having a little word with the St Mirren loanee. And that will be a Rangers free kick level with the edge of the centre circle, away out on that far side touchline. 0-0.
Yeah, it's not a bad place to give the free kick away. You just touch it, it's miles away for the goal, far side. Again, you can always get away with one out there. Cantwell looks like he's kind of a little bit struggling as well after that knock.
Yeah, obviously to come off at half time the other night, Kenny.
Yeah, listen, did you see that? I think there was the incident just right in front of the dugout when Nick Montgomery actually got wiped out as well with a tackle with one of the Hibs players. You could just see it looked like he was feeling his thigh or his groin, and I think Philippe Clement referenced that after the game. But it's just been a little niggle, nothing too serious as he's starting today.
Rangers with Lundstrom just throwing it out to the far side, or do John Sterling, got it into his stride. Down the left-hand side, inside channel now, rolling it back out wide for Yilmaz, cut out though by Bomono, and it's St Mirren in possession, and a long ball fired out to Greg Kiltie, the big switch right to left. Kiltie's going to get onto it. Tavernier comes across to meet him. Kiltie now level with the Rangers penalty spot, moving in field, right foot cross comes in, headed away by Suter, picked up by Cantwell, and he rolls it back towards Tavernier on this near side. It wasn't quite what he intended. Tavernier is to go out to the touchline to get onto it, which he does. He clears. It's off the head of Marcus Fraser. It breaks to Cantwell, and now it's with Lundstrom, who goes long, looking for Dessers in behind here down the right. Just too much on it again though. Thumbs up from Cyril Dessers, but there's no chance he was getting onto that pass. In almost 9 minutes, it's St Mirren 0, Rangers 0.
Yeah, you could see the wind effect in that pass there. As soon as it left John Lundstrom's foot, it just flew, and there was no way Cyril Dessers was going to get on the end of that. Just before, in the previous couple of minutes, St Mirren have had opportunities to put the ball in, and Ayunga, particularly for Bomono on the far side, he just pulled off the back of Goldson. That's the opportunities that St Mirren get. I mean, it's for the opening 9 minutes, Rangers have had full control, territory and the ball. So when you get those opportunities, it's really important that they make Rangers defend and get good quality into Ayunga.
Yeah, it's so important, isn't it? You know, they're not going to get that many opportunities, you would imagine. So when they get in those areas, they really need to make them count.
And Ayunga's a threat. You know, he can be a real handful if they get the right service into the box still.
Yeah, a couple of goals this season. Mikael Mandron's the top scorers on the bench today as Tavernier does some defending, digs it out, and it's out for a throw into St Mirren on this near side, which is about level with the Rangers penalty spot. And it's going to be bowled back the way to Marcus Fraser. Now Tanzer is not able to keep it in play though. It's gone out for a Rangers throw in. The St Mirren fans in the main stand not happy. The flag went up there, neither is their manager Stephen Robinson. 10 in, 0-0.
Stephen Robinson's not happy because I think that ball was maybe half an inch out, and he's complaining at the linesman, which again, to be honest, it did look tight for where we are.
Rangers have it with Goldson, long ball, looking for Dessers, can't get anything onto it, but it comes Sterling's way. He was obstructed there by Bolton, and Rangers have a free kick level with the edge of the centre circle in the Saints half. And Dessers missed the ball, but when it broke Sterling's way, he was body checked, and that has resulted in this Rangers free kick. And he's certainly been winded by that one. I don't really think there was too much James Bolton knew about it, to be honest with you, but it's gone down as a foul. I think the Rangers manager down there is not happy with something. Rangers taking the free kick relatively quickly. It's Tavernier's ball in, but it's cut out, breaks out to this near side for Kiltie. It's the nutmeg, and Raskan fires it forward, but a misunderstanding between he and Ayunga, and it goes out of play for a Rangers throw-in on the near side. Of course, Rangers have this opportunity to close to within 2 points of Celtic at the top of the Scottish Premiership this afternoon with a win. Albeit Celtic will have a chance to redress that immediately when they host Ross County later on. Rangers a game behind as it stands. This essentially a game in hand for them right now as Yilmaz crosses into the St Mirren box on the left, headed away by Fraser. Comes Cantwell's way now to Tavernier. Infield to Lundstrom, looks up, it's a lovely ball from Lundstrom, just a bit too much on it to find John Sterling though, who's ghosting in on the left hand side of the St Mirren box, in behind the defence. It was behind for the goal kick, and remains Saints 0, Rangers 0, as Rangers attack the goal to our right where the visiting supporters are housed.
Yeah, I think Dujon Sterling, I mean, again, I wasn't too happy with seeing him playing in that position when you've got the likes of McCausland and Tom Lawrence and Ravi Matondo on the bench, playing someone out of position, not their natural position. But he's been getting forward, he's making good movement off that left, like out to end runs. He's got close to Cyril Dessers in the last attack where he got wiped out for the free kick. So he seems to be adapting to the position not too bad.
He adapted to centre mid pretty well, didn't he? He started the League Cup final in there. He was brought to the club as a cover at full back, right back, when he's clearly adaptable, as Kenny was saying. There's Yilmaz down the left for Rangers, rolls it infield to Sterling, and then infield to Lundstrom. Squares it to Tavernier, right down the near side. He went more central for Raskan, that's read by Fraser, who comes away with it for Saints, plays it off Tavernier, bounces out to the near side. Lundstrom can't keep it in play, but it's gone out for a Rangers throw-in anyway. Might be a surprise to Lundstrom himself there, as he was desperately trying to keep it in play. And Rangers have a throw-in, which Tavernier's going to take a bit level with the edge of the centre circle. Infield to Cantwell, cushion header forward to Wright. Tanser trying to stick with him. Wright gets it back to Cantwell, flicks it with the outside of the right to the left-hand side for Yilmaz. Good footwork away from Bomono. He's in the box, Yilmaz, and he wins. Well, he almost won his team the corners. Hemming has managed to prevent that. It was really good play by Ridvan Yilmaz. Took his goal really well at Easter Road the other night, and he's getting plenty of games, Kenny, and that is something that will surely send confidence coursing through him.
Yeah, listen, I think he's had to wait a long time to get a real sustained run in this Rangers team, and like you say, I think in the last kind of 2 or 3 of his performances have been his better ones as well. And like you say, it's the goal he got the other night, a wonderful pass for John Lundstrom, a good touch and a strong finish.
It's a long ball for Dessers. He's giving chase. Hemmings misjudged it. Dessers scores! Oh, Zach Hemmings looking at the linesman for help. It's not coming right now. And Dessers rounds him and slips it home calmly for his 12th Rangers goal. It's St Mirren 0, Rangers 1.
Yeah, and we've just talked Zach Hemming up about how important and how good a signing he's been, but he just hesitates. You know, I think he actually has 2 moments where he should come and take that ball, because it's an over-the-top pass for John Lundstrom. You can see he's got a little bit of backspinner trying to hold it up against the wind, but the wind's going to carry it all the way through. Zach Hemming really, really hesitant, but take nothing away from Dessers. He gets on the end. Even he looked hesitant. He expected the goalkeeper to get a touch on it, and when he just duly obliged, took the touch, took it round the goalkeeper and slotted it into the empty net with his left foot. I know another goal for Dessers. He seems to be picking up in this last kind of 4 or 5 games for Rangers.
Yeah, I put the course on him there, didn't I, by praising him?
You killed him.
Absolutely killed him. But it comes from, for me, it comes from St Mirren playing a high line, and there's no pressure on the ball. Lundstrom has all the time in the world to pick that pass out. Where I felt like, I feel that the St Mirren, the back 4, they should, have dropped off and killed that space in behind. But again, the keeper should do better. He's very hesitant.
And it's not to say they've not had the warnings already. Rangers have not kind of been against playing those longer passes. Connor Goldson's had 3. You see John Souttar's looking for it. John Lundstrom's tried a couple as well. So they are going to look for that space in behind that St Mirren defence.
Now, against a Rangers team that barely concedes under Philippe Clermont, St Mirren have to come from behind. Rangers don't lose games that they take the lead in, not for a long old time. We'll go back to a derby with Celtic when Aaron Ramsey put them in front. They lost that. It's the last time it happened in the league. Kwon for St Mirren as they look for an immediate riposte here. Out to Scott Tanser. Left foot ball in's good. Played by Bomono towards goal, and Butlin holds on. He hit it side foot down into the ground. Didn't generate the kind of power that's going to beat Jack Butlin from there. But it was really good from St Mirren, having just gone behind. But it's 1-0 to Rangers in 16.
Yeah, it would have been a perfect reply, really. Great move down the left. Tanser puts a great ball in, and it's a really weak effort at goal. He should really be doing much better than that.
Yeah, he was off balance, wasn't he? I think he had 2 feet in the air. He just didn't look comfortable at all going to take that shot.
It's another long ball which St Mirren are struggling with. This time the flag goes up, and the ironic cheers from the St Mirren supporters are directed at the near side linesman Graham Stewart, who they felt should have flagged for Cyril Dessers for the goal, but clearly the VAR's had a look at it and is happy with it, and that's why Rangers lead this game 1-0, and that is Dessers' 12th goal. This is his 33rd appearance of the season, and we know what he can do. He was top scorer in the Europa Conference League the year that Feyenoord got to the final, beaten by Roma. Lundstrom calmly gets a toe onto it to get it back to his keeper. First time from Butlin, high into the ground, out to the right hand side. It was high down the near side, but he can't find a teammate. It goes out of play for a throw into St Mirren, which Gogic, last week's hero, will leave for Marcus Fraser, who has switched out to this left of the back 3, accommodate James Bolton to go to the right. St Mirren still without Keanu Bacchus, who is at the Asian Cup on international duty with Australia, and they're also without Ryan Strain, out for 3 months. Coming back in around about end of February, March time, I think. But here comes Saints down the left of the Rangers box with Ayunga. Keeps it in play. Low ball, back to Kiltie inside the area. He's on the spin. Back out to this near side for Tanza. Gets the cross in. The flick from Kwon is going to be picked up by Bomono. First time back the way at the near post. They're trying to force it home, but eventually Jameson tried to get onto it, and Jack Butland manages to calm everything down and wins it back for Rangers at his near post. 18 in, 1-0 to the visitors.
They've actually responded really well to the goal, St Mirren. It's a couple of chances now they've had.
Yeah, well, that'll please Stephen Robinson. And it's a team that defends by and large so well. To concede a goal like that was so poor. And Rangers have only conceded 4 goals away from home this season. And obviously the trip to Celtic Park hit them hard, but it's the only defeat under Clement so far. As Cantwell picks up and fires it to Raskan, now midway inside the St Mirren half, right foot chip ball headed away on the 18-yard line by Gogic. Sterling then goes in the challenge with Kwon, brings down the St Mirren player, and that will be a free kick to the home team on the right-hand side of centre, which Zach Hemming's going to take as he comes outside his box. It's not a day to be launching the high balls into the wind if you're the team shooting left to St Mirren are in this first half. And Zach Hemming over this free kick for the hosts, right-footed. It goes into the Rangers half. He gets it up towards the edge of the box, headed away by Goldson. Picked up by O'Hara. Out to Scott Tanzer. It's a poor ball, gives it straight to Dessers. He was trying to find Fraser. He didn't bargain on Dessers being as close to him as he was, but St Mirren have got it back, and it's O'Hara to Kiltie. Infield to O'Hara. Back out, it comes wide left for Kiltie. He's going to get there before it gets to the byline. It's the first time cross in. It's only half away. Kwon shoots over. What a chance. Stephen Robinson's got his head in his hands on the touchline below us. He knows how massive an opportunity that was, and it really was, for the on loan Celtic midfielder in St Mirren colours against Rangers, but he hits it high into the stand, and it stays Saints 0, Rangers 1. He's begging for a shot on target, that one.
He should be scoring from there, shouldn't he? At least hitting the target anyway. St Mirren are getting a lot of joy down their left-hand side, Rangers' right-hand side. That's a couple of occasions in the last 5-10 minutes now they've got down there and put decent balls into the box. But he should be scoring. There should be 1-1.
That's gilt edge opportunity there. He's 12 yards out, 14 yards out. He's sitting there begging to be hit. Again, I just don't think he'll look particularly comfortable over that.
And here come Rangers on the counter here. Lundstrom dinking it into the box, knocked away by Gogic, picked up by Sterling. Now Tavernier forward to Sterling, gets it into his stride at the edge of the box, shows too much of it to Fraser, brings back to Tavernier, who smashes his shot at goal, and it's gone behind for the goal kick. It might even have hit the outside of the post there from James Tavernier. He caught that beautifully. He scored a wonderful goal into that netting earlier this season, but that time he's off target, but he's caught it crisply, Kenny.
Yeah, you can see Dusan Sterling was actually angling to get a shot, just trying to get the ball out his feet onto that right foot and get a shot away, and he just overran it. But the second it broke, there was no second thought for James Tavernier. He struck it really, really well along the ground, and it did. It just caught the outside of Zach Hemming's post, so good effort there for Tavernier.
A bit of a let-off for St Mirren, but again, David, you'll have been in this position yourself, coming up against Rangers and Celtic in particular. If you don't take your opportunity, you can be made to pay. And St Mirren were very nearly 2-0 down there, having missed a superb chance to get it back to 1 each.
Yeah, that's what happens when you play against the best teams. You know, you need to take your chances. They don't come around often, and when you don't take them, you know, it's inevitable that they're going to get chances themselves and make you pay for it.
1-0 to Rangers here in Paisley. Ball up into the air from James Bolton. It's collected by Ayunga. Suter wins it back off him. Now it's Sterling out to the left for Yilmaz. Long ball forward, which Hemming's come outside his box to get onto. Right hand side of it. He boots it clear with the right foot. Kiltie going after it. Felt he was fouled by Goldson, at least the fans did. No free kick. Now it's on this near side with Tanzer. Tanzer rolling it forward into the feet of Lewis Jameson. He's lost out though to Raskan. Works the 1-2 right forward to Cantwell. The challenge from Gogic, wins it back for St Mirren. Bolton Passes the ball low forward to Jamieson now with Tanser. And then Jamieson again, infield to Kiltie. Kiltie's done well, rolls it to Kwon. This is good from St Mirren. Kwon's pass though, cut out by Sterling as he tried to find Bomono on the right. And then given away by Bolton, but he gets away with it. Came off Cantwell, breaks to Fraser, out to this near side for Tanser, looks up, left foot ball, comes into the penalty area. Ayunga takes a nice touch, trying to work some space. It is back to goal, and it's won back by Rangers. Tavernier, and then Raskan, and it's fired forward into the feet of Cyril Dessers. Left-hand side, the Rangers goal scorer, up against Alexander Gogic, who does brilliantly again. He really has been superb this season for St Mirren, and last as well, the Cypriot defender. He just brushed Dessers aside and wins it back for the home team, who have responded to going behind brilliantly.
They have, you know, they've had opportunities to put the ball in the box. Ayunga's starting to get a little bit more into the game as well. They're getting the ball into him, getting the ball around him. Kiltie's starting to have an effect on it as well. And then just in that last attack, they've had a great chance to release Bomono on that far side, and it was an easy pass for Kwon. He just needs to get the ball out in front of him. He tries to kind of dress it up too much, and it's cut out, and Rangers then go in the attack. But it has been a good response. There's been a couple of opportunities as well at the back post for Bomono and also for Kwon.
Kwon signed a 5-year deal at Celtic. He joined from Busan I Park, who he was a regular with, having come off the back of his mandatory military service before that in South Korea. He hasn't seen much football since arriving at Celtic Park. He's getting his chance here on loan in Paisley. 24 in, 1-0 Rangers. St Mirren free kick, Hemming with a long ball to the edge of the Rangers box. Oh, it's won back brilliantly there. Initially by Jamieson, I think it was, but they can't take advantage of it, and it's cleared up to the halfway line by Rangers. It almost broke Ayunga's way inside the penalty box after the initial header was won. In fact, it was Bolton that won the header in the box, but it created havoc in the Rangers defence there, and they've looked a little bit panicky at times, and it may well be down to the fact that the wind is flipping around the stadium here, but St Mirren have had chances, they've had 2 or 3 since going behind.
Yeah, I think the conditions are definitely playing their part. You know, that was, again, when Bolton won that header, you just thought it was going to fall right onto the right boot of Ayunga. It just went a little bit ahead. And like you say, when they get the ball in the box, when they put it forward for the set play situations, it is causing a little bit of problems back there for Rangers. 25 in the clock here, with Rangers leading by 1-0. The 3 o'clock kickoffs in the Premiership, including the match of the day, Hearts Aberdeen, with Celtic Ross County, Kilmarnock Hibs, Livingston Dundee, St Johnstone Motherwell to come on Open All Mics, plus coverage of the Championship in Leagues 1 and 2. We've also got action on Tuesday, Aberdeen Dundee and Livingston Ross County. Action in the lower leagues, and indeed that final Scottish Cup 4th round tie, which is yet to take place between Brora Rangers and Cove Rangers. It's on Tuesday night. St Mirren pick up, and there's a chance for them to drive forward with Bomono. It's really well defended by Sterling though. St Mirren get it back, the edge of the box. Ayunga on the turn, brought down, surely, free kick, yes. Goldson tripping Ayunga to the deck on the edge of the D, and this is a wonderful free kick opportunity for St Mirren, you would have to say. 26 on the clock, with Rangers leading by 1-0. This is going to be slightly left of centre, but it's on the edge of the Rangers box. What a chance this could be.
Yeah, looked like Ayunga was just about to pull the trigger there and take a shot on goal, but tripped right on the edge of the box. This is a big chance for St Mirren now.
Yeah, it certainly is. We've got a couple of interested parties. Scott Tanser, we know, has got a real weapon here from this kind of situation. Lewis Jamieson's there too. Jamieson looks favourite at the moment. He's 1 goal this season. It came in the 2-2 draw with Hibs. Tanser there as well. The Rangers wall is back. Here's the free kick, and is leathered high and wide, and that is a goal kick to Rangers, who continue to lead thanks to that Cyril Dessers goal, which was taken calmly by the Rangers striker. He's had swipes and slashes at things in his Rangers career, which is still in its relative infancy, of course, but in 14 minutes he calmly rolled it home after it was misjudged by Zach Hemming, and that is why Rangers lead by 1-0. And Lewis Jamieson, David Van Zanten would want another go at that.
Yeah, he would. It's one of those ones where it's almost too close to the goal to try and get it up and over the wall. It's kind of a situation where you want to just put your foot through it sometimes, maybe takes a deflection and deceives the goalkeeper, but yeah, an opportunity missed there.
Yeah, I think when you're that close and you see it and the wall was so maybe 8 yards away from Jack Butland, see if you're keeping it low and you're trying to find that corner, the keeper can unsight the keeper, a bit like Ivan Toney did last week for Brentford when he moved the ball actually across the way, but that would be the kind of opportunity I think he should have went for there. Just going back onto Dessers as well, I mean, he's had so much kind of criticism and things over the first 6 months of his Rangers career, but he's came back this second half of the season, 3 goals, 3 games. He's still got another hour or so as well to add to that tally as well, so he's hit the ground running in the second half of the season.
Yeah, and he responded to losing his place to Fabio Silva in the perfect way the other night with that calm finish for Rangers' 3rd goal at Easter Road. The referee's just stopped play and he wants to speak to Todd Cantwell and Mark O'Hara. Not exactly sure what went on there. The ball had gone, it was in the other half of the pitch. O'Hara and Cantwell given a stern talking to by David Dickinson. And it's going to be a drop ball uncontested in Rangers' favour.
Those goals for Dessers as well, Kenny, that'll, you know, for his confidence, he'll do the world of good, you know, better than me, but as a striker, you know, you live off your goals, don't you, and the confidence it brings.
Yeah, it does, and you know, when he's getting 12 goals, like 33 appearances, it's not a bad return, you know, it's just been the kind of all-round game and maybe a bit of sloppiness when he's receiving the ball in terms of his link-up play, and but his goal return's actually been good. And like you say, when you're scoring 3 goals in a week, effectively, it's been a chance to add to it in the last hour. It can only do great for his confidence.
Difficult as well to replace Alfredo Morelos, who was, of course, Rangers' all-time European top goal scorer. He scored plentiful goals in his time at the club, so he was coming in and replacing those books, albeit Morelos wasn't quite at the same levels last season. Scott Wright picks up, driving forward, going down, challenged by Kwon. The ref's happy with it. Wright's not complaining, and Tanser stretching his legs across halfway, scuffs his pass forward towards Jameson, cut out by Goldson on the 18-yard line, and cleared onto the roof of the main stand. And St Mirren keeping the pressure on here. It's been decent from them in the last 10-15 minutes since going behind. They trail by a 1-0. It's a quick throw in, it's back to Jameson, gets his break on the ball and shoots, and saved by Butland's right boot. Flag's gone up anyway, so that might just relieve some of the angst on Stephen Robinson's face again there, because he knew that's another brilliant opportunity. Jameson had the goal gaping in front of him. Somehow Jack Butland was able to make the save with the right boot. It might not have counted in the end up if it was proven to be offside, but it's a Rangers free kick. We're hearing it was very tight. It was an offside decision. It doesn't matter in the end up because Jameson hasn't taken advantage of it. But they're in again, David.
Yeah, again, it's great play down this left-hand side. Lovely ball in by Tanser into Younga, who I think was obviously offside. Great layoff. And Jameson, again, it's a great chance and he should be in the back of the net.
I mean, you've got to say St Mirren have actually had the better chances over the course of the game. Rangers have had control and all the possession, but they've had the better chances.
There's Sterling, and then it bounces off Pomono and back into the gloves of Hemming. And that was a glorious opportunity for Lewis Jameson. He was on loan at Airdrieonians last season, looking to take advantage of his opportunity. Conor McMenamin unavailable today, normally plays that position. Rangers have it back here. Tavernier, got a man down in the midfield. I think it's Scott Wright who's in pain. He's managed to get himself back to his feet now though, as Fraser moves it back into his own penalty area for Gogic. Back to Marcus Fraser, up the line for Tanser. Tanser then up the line as well for Kiltie. Back to Tanser into Ayunga, just bounces under his foot. Frustrating for him and his manager again. Here's Elvis Pomono, right of the centre circle, one of the new signings here after a year in Icelandic football. Pomono, as he plays it out to the near side, but goes out for a Rangers throw-in in the end. We're approaching 32 minutes here at blustery St Mirren Park, with Rangers leading by 1-0 on Sportsound, BBC Radio Scotland, on medium wave, on digital and online at bbc.co.uk/Sports Scotland. All the 3 o'clock action to come, and then the highlights on Sportscene this evening from 7:30 on the BBC Scotland channel, repeated on BBC One later on. Here's Scott Wright for Rangers on this near side, to the right hand side of the box for Tavernier, who'll play it off Fraser. It bounces out for a throw in, a bit level with the Saints 6-yard line. on this near side. Tavernier to take himself right in front of the Rangers fans. And the perfect view as Dessers put their team in front. And it's Tavernier, side foot, low ball infield to Lundstrom, who goes back to Tavernier. It's a poor touch. Ayunga is onto it, pinches it back off Tavernier. Ayunga, brilliant from him, gets away from Tavernier down the left-hand side, on his own at the moment. Jameson arriving in the box. Still it's Ayunga up against Goldson, looking to get to the byline. He's managed to flick it across. Suter will knock it out for a throw-in down by the corner flag on this near side. Outstanding striker play by Jonah Ayunga.
Yeah, brilliant. It's really poor play from
Tavernier. For a corner, actually, is it?
Yeah, really poor play from Tavernier initially, but he does absolutely brilliant. He wins a corner.
Chance here then for St Mirren on this corner kick, which Kilty's going to take. In swinger with the right foot. It's a congested penalty box, as you might expect, and it comes towards the 6-yard area, headed away by one of the Rangers defenders right in front of Butland. It was Suter. Back in from the right it comes, headed clear by Scott Wright. Dessers tries to lay it off towards Cantwell. Cantwell battling for it with Bolton, and eventually it breaks Kilty's way. A little up and under ball from Tanser, hangs in the wind. That actually favours the Saints player Bolton. He gets it onto the chest of Kwon, left-hand side of the box, looking to at least win a corner. He goes down under the challenger Raskan, no free kick, and it goes behind for the goal kick to Rangers, who continue to lead this game in Paisley by 1-0, approaching the 34-minute mark.
Yeah, I think it's a strange situation. I think at this moment, 34 minutes, I think both managers will be pretty happy. You know, Philippe Clement's side are controlling the game, they've taken the lead, but St Mirren have responded excellently, so Robinson will be really happy with the chances and opportunities that they've created. Obviously disappointed the fact that they've not taken one of them.
Sore one for Scott Wright down in the near side. It was Tanser's challenge. It's off the ball, or at least the ball had gone. And the ref coming over to speak to the St Mirren number 3, and the Rangers man remains on the deck. Stephen Robinson has a pretty miserable record against Rangers. He's only got the one victory. It was when his Motherwell team beat them in the League Cup semis in 2017. No wins in 18 league games as manager against Rangers. 4 draws, the best he's managed, 3 of them coming in his time at Fir Park. And he's lost 6 out of the 7 against Rangers whilst in charge of St Mirren. They pushed them last season. They've only scored a handful of times over the last period of matches against them. 2 of them came at Ibrox last season. One of them was outstanding from Mark O'Hara. You got the other. And goal of the season contender.
Second one wasn't bad either, if I remember. A wee half volley to the edge of the box as well.
That's the one I'm talking. Yeah. Sorry, that was the one I was talking about. Yeah, absolutely. It's an outstanding goal. As I said, he's got more against Rangers than anyone else. 3 against Celtic, 2. He's got a great record against the 2 big Glasgow clubs who are fighting for the title this season. They have been for much of the last 25, 30 years. That's how it played for a throw-in on the near side for Tavernier to take for the visitors. Raskan comes close. Tavernier bowls it the other way to Dessers, who heads it back towards the right angle of the box for Scott Wright. It's won by Kwon, but he's given it straight to Lundstrom. Outside of the boot for Sterling, challenged well by Bomono, and that's a free kick. Foul by Sterling to say Elvis Bomono looks pretty decent out there. Vanzi, you know the position well yourself.
Yeah, he's doing really well, and to be fair, Sterling he's a right back, but he's actually looks the part playing out there on the wing. He's making really good runs from out to in, and Wemo, he's matching him, and he looks the part. He's had a solid start so far.
1-0 Rangers into the final almost 8 minutes of the first half. St Mirren have it here with Jameson. Now it's Ayunga looking to shake off Raskan. He does a really good job there, does the Belgian, and he wins it back and clears it out for a throw-in to St Mirren just now. And I suppose given the difficult conditions that both teams are being faced with, but Rangers have the lead, I suppose Philippe Clement would probably settle for a 1-0 victory, because it's difficult for his team to get that cohesive passing play going today. You can understand why. Kilty keeps it in play on the near side and then loops the ball forward, looking for Jameson, headed half away by Suter. Ayunga picks up the scraps, no space though, has to slip it to Kwon, right hand side of the box. He shoots on the turn and Butland saves, low to the left. And behind it goes for the corner. Clement down there, arms outstretched as he returned to his dugout to remonstrate with his coaching staff. He felt St Mirren got that opportunity too easily there.
Well, Tavernier had stopped, you know, he was complaining about something. Goldson's also complaining about something as the ball was dropping to Kilty. Nobody was going to press, it was just, is it offside maybe?
I think that's what he's complaining about, yeah.
Well, listen, Con's got an easy shot away, it's been saved by Jack Butland, and St Mirren now have the opportunity to put the ball in the box and put Rangers under pressure.
The Rangers penalty area is shrouded in shade at the moment, in the sunshine. And it will be a corner to St Mirren from their right-hand side as they attack the goal to the left. And it comes from Jameson. It's cleared to the edge of the box. O'Hara giving chase, gets his head onto it, but can only head it out for a throw-in on this near side. It was a disappointing outcome for St Mirren in their last league game, beaten 3-0 by Celtic here. That followed their impressive 3-0 win at Pittodrie, which was a joint record victory for them in Aberdeen. The last one 3-0 there in 1953, so just another little box to tick for Stephen Robinson in what's been an excellent season so far. They're going to go one better than they did last term and try and secure European football for the first time since they were Scottish Cup winners in '87. They played in the Cup Winners' Cup. A long time coming. It looked for some time last season that it would be last term and break their duck. Just kind of ran out of gas towards the end of the campaign after the split. And a throw in on this near side to be taken by Marcus Fraser, almost in 39. Rangers 1-0 up. Down this near side, the header away by Tavernier. Cantwell can't control, it's knocked out by O'Hara for a throw into Rangers on the near side, which Tavernier's going to take level with the edge of the centre circle. He bowls it back the way to Goldson. Turns away from Ayunga, looks up, long right foot ball forward, looking for Sterling to flick on. Breaks the way of Cantwell. Gogic will get on to his pass. Now it's with Tanzer. Long left-footed ball into the Rangers half. Shooter underneath it, finds Lundstrom with the cushion header. Lundstrom then guiding it out to Ridvan Yilmaz on the left. Into the St Mirren half he goes. An option in Sterling ahead of him, finds Dujon Sterling, and then on the stretch was James Bolton. Slide challenge out for a Rangers throw-in level with the Saints 6-yard line. Over on the Rangers left, on that north bank side of the stadium. And it will be bowled back the way by Yilmaz to Lundstrom. First time left foot cross ball comes in, headed clear by Tanzer. Bouncing ball, Ayunga, he's been a pest for the Rangers defenders and they're all around him inside St Mirren half as it breaks to Raskan. Tries to get back onto it down the left, Gogic with the challenge, and Bomono gets back there between the man and the ball and clears. Ayunga with the first time ball, trying to caress it out to the right hand side for Jameson, cut out by Yilmaz. It breaks over to the opposite side of the pitch, this near side, the St Mirren left, and it's Tanzer. Gets away from right. O'Hara runs into his opposite captain, Tavernier, but emerges with a break, and it comes back to his keeper, Hemming. Rifles it long with the left foot, barely able to get it to halfway because of the wind. O'Hara's header drops to Scott Wright. We're in the final 5 minutes of the first half, or at least of the 45. Chip ball by Rangers, headed away by Fraser, breaks the way of Kilty, knocks it off Tavernier. And has that even gone out? Yes, it has, and it's gone Rangers' way, says the assistant, who gets another volley of abuse from the Saints fans behind him. It's taken by Tavernier to Lundstrom, back to Tavernier, back to Goldson, infield to Lundstrom, back out wide for Tavernier. Right foot raking ball, Sterling giving chase, Bomono covering it though, and it drops back to Zach Hemming. 1-0 to Rangers.
Yeah, it's been a ploy actually in this first half. Rangers for Goldson, for Tavernier, Lundstrom looking for that diagonal ball across for Sterling, who's either going out to and running behind the centre backs or trying to hit the diagonal to use that physicality that he's got against Bomono.
The wind's perhaps died down slightly since kick-off. Our stuff in the desks here isn't blowing around as much as it was earlier. That's how the barometer I'm using. Yeah. But it does seem to have calmed down a bit.
It does, you know. I think it's not only the wind that's causing a bit of issue. You can see the pitch as well. It's starting to cut up a little bit. It's a little bit bobbly. Players also kind of losing their footing, so it might be a little bit slidey underfoot as well.
Of course, rains every single day in the west of Scotland, which doesn't help things when it's torrential, and it has been at times. But this is generally one of the best pitches in the country here in Paisley, but it is looking a little bit rutted in part, but you can understand that this time of year in particular. It's going to perhaps not look its best at the end of January, even even if there haven't been games being played on it. But Dessers has robbed Gogic. He's down at the byline too, waiting for the pull back inside the area, and he plays it straight off Gogic and out of play. It goes for a throw-in. Saints getting away with one there because Cantwell and Sterling and Wright were all waiting for a pullback as Rangers try and do what they did at Easter Road and score late in the first half to make it 2. It stays at 1.
Yeah, he done great at Dessers. I mean, he miscontrolled it initially, and Gogic looked like he had taken control of the situation, but Dessers never gave up on it. And I just think when he was looking for the cutback, he just hesitated ever so slightly in releasing the pass, and it was blocked, and the chance went gone.
Rangers have it with Raskan. Now it's Lundstrom looking to finish the first half strongly here. It's a misunderstanding there with Lundstrom and Yilmaz. Yilmaz was offside anyways. He eventually got onto it down by the corner flag, but it's going to be a free kick to St Mirren. And as we tick towards the half-time interval, Stephen Robinson will be kind of bittersweet performance for his team. They've lost a cheap goal, but they've looked a threat. They've actually looked more of a threat than Rangers at times.
Yeah, for me, they've been the better team in this first half, and they're a goal down. They've had plenty of chances. Stephen Robinson, he'll be delighted with the performance. Disappointed with the goal they lost, and disappointed that they've not taken their chances.
Just 2 wins in their last 9 for St Mirren, 3 in their last 13. Didn't manage to... Oh, it's been misjudged by Fraser. Dessers trying to get in there. Gogic gets back and closes the back door just in time, because that was an awkward bounce which was completely and utterly misjudged by Marcus Fraser. Again, the wind's got to come into it as Jameson looks to get Ayunga away down the right-hand side. He is onto it, can't quite keep it in play, and that's out for a Rangers throw-in over on the far side as we tick into the final minute of the opening 45, with Rangers leading 1-0. Dessers on 14 and on 13 for the season, or sorry, 12 for the season. But that'll be something he'll be wanting to do, just keep his goal-scoring run going. Try, and I would imagine personally for him, he'll be looking at hitting the 20 mark, which is something he did at Feyenoord when he was on loan from Genk there a couple of seasons ago. Scored 20 in 41 appearances. We were talking about this the other night, Ken. He's got 1 goal for every 3 games, I think, for Rangers at the moment. You'll want up that to at least 1 and 2.
Well, listen, I think 1 and 3 for him, the type of player he looks, is actually okay. But if he's going to get to the 20-goal mark, which there's every possibility, I mean, Rangers could be actually looking at potentially 3 players. Obviously, SMiSA's now going to be injured, but he would be well on the way. Tavernier's going to be well on the way as well. So if Dessers can get to the 20-goal mark over the course of what might be, what, a 50-odd game season, I think that would be a really strong return for his first season at Ibrox.
Rangers will hope it's that kind of number of matches, because that'll mean that they'll progress deeply into the Europa League, which they will resume in early March in the last 16. Winning the group means they don't need to play in what was the last 32, now the playoff round, and 1 minute of stoppage time has been added on at the end. We're into it. Rangers looking to protect this lead that they have, and it looks likely that they will go up the tunnel at half-time with a 1-0 lead. To keep the momentum going, they've won their last 3 since losing to Celtic, beating Kilmarnock, Dumbarton and Hibs. It's going to be a free kick for Zach Hemming to take. He's away outside his box over on this near side. He smashes it forward with the right peg. Hangs in the wind again, misjudged this time by Lundstrom. Headed forward there towards Ayunga, but it's cleared by Rangers. Dessers goes down, claims he was fouled, played the minute according to my watch, and indeed David Dickinson's. And it is the interval in Paisley, and Rangers lead. Cyril Dessers with his 12th goal of the season on 14 minutes, rolling it home after he got round Zach Hemming, who completely misjudged it. Lundstrom had a shot earlier held by the Saints goalkeeper. St Mirren have had chances as well, and Kwon's had a couple. One he forced a save from Butland, but the one before that was an outstanding chance, but he skied it from about 10 yards out. A real opportunity just to the right of the penalty spot, but he couldn't find the target. Lewis Jameson's been in as well. Ayunga's been a constant menace for the Rangers defence. That means at half-time here in Paisley, Dessers the difference. St Mirren 0, Rangers 1.
Football from Sports Sound.
Brilliant drop of the shoulder! What a goal!
From BBC Radio Scotland.
There's no substitute.
You're listening to Sports Sound on BBC Radio Scotland. A really busy day for us today. The early kick-off in the Premiership has reached half-time. St Mirren 0, Rangers 1. Cyril Dessers with a goal on 14 minutes. There's a full card in the top flight this afternoon. Some big games. We'll have them covered on Open All Mics. There's also the option of a second commentary. That comes from Celtic Park, Ross County, the visitors there. So all that to come. We're with you right through until 7 o'clock tonight, when we will have some fan engagement for you. Leanne Crichton is alongside me in the studio. Your assessment of that first half, Leanne?
A really enjoyable first half, I would need to say. Rangers get their noses in front just around the 14-minute mark, and you think at that point perhaps Rangers will go on a bit more cruise control. They get that early goal that settles the nerves. But we've spoken about the game, the magnitude of the game, the opportunity to put a bit of pressure on Celtic with early kick-off. I thought St Mirren responded really well, and they've had just as many good opportunities to get themselves level. They probably should be level, as Liam touched on there just in his summary. Kwon's chance that he has, he just doesn't go over the top of the ball. He's 12 yards out for the goal. He just probably shows you a player that's lacking a bit of confidence, a bit of match sharpness and a belief in his own ability, because I think in other circumstances he goes and gets his head down and he meets it head on and at least works Jack Butland. But when you look at the stats across the game, both sides 4 shots, both 2 on target, shots inside the box 2 apiece, touches in the opposition box, St Mirren edge at 8-5. So there's been real positivity there. They've had more entries in Rangers' final third than Rangers have had in St Mirren's final third. I think Stephen Robinson, other than the fact his side haven't managed, as I say, to get a goal back, he'll be really pleased with the response.
David Van Zanten and Kenny Miller, part of our commentary team this afternoon. David, would you agree with Leanne? Saints unlucky to be behind at half-time?
Yeah, definitely. I've been really impressed with them, especially since they lost the goal. Up until then, I think Rangers was probably the better team. They edged it, but they responded magnificently. They've had some really good chances. You know, when you think of Rangers' chances, they've had the goal. Tavernier's had a shot that hit the outside of the post, but St Mirren have had some really good chances that they should have scored from. So yeah, Stephen Robinson will be very disappointed, with the result at the minute, but very pleased with the performance.
Take us into the dressing room then, David. You've been in many situations like this yourself. You've played well, but you are behind. But despite that, do you think there'll be a real air of positivity in the dressing room? They're doing so much right today.
Absolutely. I'm sure his words will just be, continue what you're doing. Keep probing, keep trying to get chances, but ultimately, when you get these chances, you've got to take them. Just be a little bit more ruthless in front of goal. But yeah, he'll be delighted with that performance. Very disappointed, obviously, with the goal and the way they conceded it. It should have been defended better. But he'll be over the moon with the performance. But yeah, he'll be looking for the team to come back in the second half and get that equaliser, and then who knows what might happen.
Kenny Miller is alongside David at the SMiSA Stadium. Kenny, I was stood in a trail with Stuart and Tam and off the ball, and I was trying to think of complete opposites in Scottish football, saying Callum McGregor, week in, week out, what you're going to get from him. Cyril Dessers, you have no idea, but that was a lovely finish today.
Yeah, it was. Again, it just adds to the finish from Wednesday night, which was really comfortable. A clean finish from him, clever finish from him on Wednesday night against Hibs. And today, again, it just looked like, obviously, David's right, he should have been defended better. Hemming should have came, he should have been more dominant and taking control of the situation, but he never. And Cyril Dessers never gave up on a pass which looked like he wasn't going to get on the end of, and then showed good calmness and composure around him and slot into the empty net. So, again, 12 goals of the season, it's a decent enough return. I think you just want to see more. But over this first week back after the break, he has shown a little bit more. He's obviously must be high on confidence. Like I said, 12 goals for the season, 3 goals in his last 3 games. Came off the bench obviously on Wednesday night to get that goal. So again, that can only help him, and he'll be looking to continue that. There will be other opportunities in the second half here for him. St Mirren will probably not change too much in the second half initially, but they'll look to continue the good work that they've done. But there has been opportunities for Dessers. Just seen right at the end of the half there where he got on another long pass when he looked to set up. He could have got a shot away, but he chose to try and set a teammate up. So there will be other opportunities for them to add to this 3 goals that he's got in this week.
Where do you see his strengths, Kenny, and what areas does he need to work on?
It's a funny one, because we've talked a few times about this on the show, Kenny, about what his kind of assets are or the strengths. I mean, I think when you look at his size, he should be that type of target, but I don't really think he is. I think over this last week, he's maybe his hold-up play and his link-up play has become a little bit better. It's looked better. I'm not saying it became better, but maybe that's through confidence, you know, and he's feeling a little bit more happy within the team, happy with the game that he's playing. Again, he might just be feeling a little bit more comfortable in the surroundings being a Rangers player, you know, but he's not particularly quick, but he's a strong runner, as you can see when he's running behind the St Mirren defence today. So I just think he needs to sharpen up. For me, he needs to sharpen up on his link-up play when the ball's going up to him, looking after it, because he's a big old lad, and you see even today he's going down a little bit too easily. So I think if he can be that more of that stronger target, like to get the likes of Cantwell and McCausland when he's playing, and obviously you see today Sterling's getting in support of him and making some good movement in support of the striker. So if he can just be that little bit more cleaner in that side of his game, again also round about the box when you've got the likes of Lawrence and Cantwell who like playing these little 1-2 touch combinations round the corner and getting the striker involved, he needs to be the one that brings it together. And if he can tidy that up and continue on the goal scoring run, he could find himself again. I think the Rangers fans have maybe not fully accepted him as a Rangers number 9, but they're definitely not as critical of him over this last kind of month, 6 weeks of the season.
I think you're spot on, Kenny. Looking at him in this first half as well, it's a lot of just the sharpness, almost the speed of mind at times. He's getting into good areas. There was one that he kind of gets to the byline. I think Cantwell's offered a bit of support underneath him. There was a run across the front six. By the time he actually gets the ball, he receives it, he takes his touch, he controls, it's too late. And I think those are the bits that he needs to speed his play up, where if he is that link-up player and he's not going to get his shot off himself and cause problems, he needs to recognise and understand the movements of his teammates.
And you need to be decisive, don't you? Because
totally,
I think the one you're referencing, he just hesitated. You know, the chance was there to be played, and he just hesitated. And when he did play, it was gone. So it's just being decisive and confident. And that, again, it's a cliche, but the first thing you see is normally the best thing. You know, so just play it and just be decisive with the action.
Yeah, he's clearly a player that's got a lot of confidence. He's quite upbeat, he's quite lively. I've heard a few interviews. I guess you'd have to be, because he went through, no doubt, a tough spell, getting a lot of boos, particularly in the home games for Rangers. But he's got the opening goal today. David, from a St Mirren perspective, who's impressed you?
I think Mark O'Hara, we mentioned before the game. I think he's been excellent in there. He's kept Todd Cantwell really quiet. You know, I can't really remember Cantwell getting on the ball, you know, as much as he did in the first 10 minutes, whatever. But since then, he hasn't really touched the ball, and I think that's down to Mark O'Hara. Been very impressed with Kilty on the left-hand side. He's caused lots of problems. I think St Mirren generally have caused problems down Rangers' right-hand side, and I think Kilty's been a big part of that. There hasn't really been a failure, to be honest, for St Mirren. I think obviously the keeper makes the mistake, but other than that, I think it's been a very positive performance from them.
Yeah, no doubt about it. They're banging this game. It's the first of 6 games in the top flight this afternoon, Liam. We gave it the big build-up, a super Saturday on Sports, and some really interesting games as well in the Championship today, including Scott Brown's first as manager of Ayr United there away at Queen's Park. We'll have an Ayr United fan later on today to give us an assessment of how Ayr looked under Scott Brown. We're just looking through these games. I've already, Leanne, had some messages from Aberdeen fans saying, I think I've heard this before, it's D-Day for Barry Robson today. There is no doubt he has got to be under some sort of pressure. Yeah,
no doubt about it. He's under pressure. I think he has been throughout the season. Simply, the results have not been good enough. The league standings are not good enough. I did mention earlier, they have only played 19 games right enough, so in terms of the teams above them, they've got a good opportunity. But what we haven't seen from Aberdeen is a run of consistency that would allow you to believe that they will close that gap significantly. This afternoon's a big test. We know that Hearts have won 5 out of their last 6 league meetings. I think the last number of games against Aberdeen, they don't tend to concede more than 1 goal as well. The form has been very, very good in that type of head-to-head. So it's a huge ask for Aberdeen, but they need these. In seasons gone by, these are the types of games that you could never call. Whereas I don't know if there'll be many people, even Aberdeen fans this afternoon, that are confident their side will get a result, and that's probably the damning statistic around it, is that as weeks go on, you seem to be losing more Aberdeen fans in their faith in Barry Robson. So a huge afternoon, but we've seen it with many managers in recent years. We've discussed it. Jim Goodwin had his time and his run of games. Lee Johnson, at the point you felt they were down and out, they would come and produce a bit of magic, and the players would rally, as they should. as they should, so it should be a cracking afternoon. It's certainly a game to keep across, no doubt.
Yeah, Aberdeen away at Hearts, our commentary match, Celtic against Ross County. Derek Adams addressed this week his comments he made after that defeat in the Cup to Partick Thistle last weekend. Again, another very interesting interview from him. We'll hear from him later in the programme. Come on against Hibs. Hibs looking for some sort of consistency under Nick Montgomery. Poor during the week, poor despite the win in the Scottish Cup last weekend. A big one for Livingston today at home to Dundee. St Johnstone against Motherwell. Again, I'm sure it won't be a classic, but a hugely important game. And we've got reporters at 4 of the 5 games in the Championship for you this afternoon. So all the coverage coming up on Open All Mics. And when that is done and dusted, of course, we turn to you, the fans, to have your say.
This is Sports Sound.
I can't wait for Saturday.
Oh! Terry Mendes! That's not even a word, but that's brilliant. Watch this. I knew it was January after Rangers had signed a new player.
Good evening to you, Ronnie. Surely to goodness you couldn't have predicted that result earlier on this afternoon.
Hearts, glorious Hearts. Like the Hearts game, changes the system at half time, goes to 4 at the back, and we play brilliantly. And then doesn't he go with it again? He's in his depth, he needs to go now.
My goodness, oh my goodness, poke the bear and he will score. What a goal from Theo Bear.
There's only 3 of us in the studio, and it wasn't me.
Julian, they have brought the keeper now. He's now playing centre forward.
So if you do, Derek, don't tell Derek Adams. He will think of the Scottish game, eh?
You want to know who scored? Is it? No, it's scored it was goalie.
Is the goalkeeper scored?
You better.
I'm just going to check this. Is that the big fella?
Can you imagine the celebrations if this goes in from each one?
This is scored! Joe Shaughnessy scored! Oh my goodness me!
The standard's rubbish, and it really is.
Sports Sound on BBC Radio Scotland.
Do you know, I've heard that a few times, Lan, as have you, and that out. These words from Derek Adams. What did you make of his post-match comments last week? So I was in the studio with Tom English. We were just gearing up for the 5:30 kick-off. Dumbarton against Rangers. We saw a note coming in to say another interesting, shall we say, interview from the Ross County manager who played that out at half-time. You just wonder how many more times he can say things like that. Or the counter to that is, will it get a response? Should we appreciate a manager being so honest?
I don't think it gets a response, if I'm being honest.
No?
No, I don't think so. I think with the modern day player and the way football is now, there's so much scrutiny around the game. I don't think you can get away from the comments. Back in the day, maybe managers would make comments, throwaway comments, reaction, emotional moments that players could get beyond. But I think the media coverage now, the fact that these types of clips and sound bites, they're regurgitated all the time, players see it, they'll read into it. I think if you're a player in the dressing room, a team like Ross County, they're lacking in confidence, they're lacking in performances and results. Players look for excuses, and I think those types of comments actually just hinder your job and your ability as a manager. I think Derek Adams gave too much away in his time there. He sounded like a manager last week that was looking for the exit door and perhaps, wished he hadn't taken the job, really, was where it took him to. It'll be an interesting one to see how his side respond, and it's probably the only thing that could overshadow that Nicholas Coonan in his Parkhead debut this afternoon is Derek Adams' post-match interview. Yeah, we're looking forward to hear from Derek Adams. We'll hear from Brendan Rodgers, and a lot of Celtic fans really unhappy at the lack of activity in the transfer market, albeit they've tied down some of the really significant players on longer deals. Let's get back to our first commentary match of the afternoon, St Mirren against Rangers, with David Van Zanten, Kenny Miller and Liam McLeod.
Double change for Rangers at the start of the second half. Looks like Cantwell and Wright have been replaced by McCausland and Lawrence as Rangers kick off the second half, right to left. As we watch, we're in their change colours, the red and navy shirts, navy shorts, red socks with the navy tops. St Mirren in their traditional black and white stripes going left to right, and Rangers on the attack in the opening seconds of the second half here. Out wide for McCausland, who's just on. They're going to get it to the byline. Little chip ball towards the near post, headed away by Gogic, and behind for the first corner for the second half, which goes Rangers' way, and that's an attacking start to the second half by Rangers. And Cantwell off at half-time, as he was at Easter Road the other night, and he did take another knock in that first half as well, so perhaps had something to do with the decision. And Wright also was in the wars, so there's no surprise. Those are the two changes. The Rangers corner comes in, slip as it was put in by Yilmaz. It's going to come back to him here though. And he was offside, so the flag goes up, and it's going to be a St Mirren free kick. So Rangers then with a 1-0 lead, and Kenny Miller a double change again.
Yeah, again, that's something I've seen quite a lot for Philip Clement. He's not scared to make these early changes, whether it be at half-time or even in the first half. I've seen over the course of his tenure, but I mean, just touch on the Campbell thing, like, whether it's a knock or an injury or if it's a tactical change. I just don't think he looks particularly happy in that Rangers jersey at this moment. I was just watching him walking down the tunnel at half-time, and it just doesn't look like he's enjoying his football at this moment in time, you know. And he's found himself in the team, he's found himself out the team again, and getting early substitutions as well. He should be a big player for Rangers. You know, the way he finished off the season last year, you thought this could have been a real big player for Rangers trying to win this league back this year, but it's not quite went that way.
Ball not clear by James Tavernier into the St Mirren half. Conditions pretty much the same as they were in the first half, really windy. Sun's dipped as well behind the clouds as the ball's clipped out to this near side. Yilmaz just lets it go over for a throw though. So Rangers with that double change, St Mirren as they were in the first half. Hemming in goal, Bolton, Gogic, Fraser at the back, Bomono and Tanser wide, Kwon and O'Hara in the middle with Jamieson and Kiltie flanking Ayunga. Rangers with Butland in goal, Tavernier, Goldson, Suter, Yilmaz, Raskan, Lundstrom, McCausland, Lawrence, Sterling and Dessers the goal scorer. Relatively tepid affair so far. There's not been any bookings or anything like that, not too many bad fouls as Tavernier swings a cross ball right across the face of the St Mirren goal. Sterling gets onto it on the near side, rolling it infield, but he can only give it straight to Kwon, who clears up the near side, sliding in Suter. A slight challenge actually, he's ended up working out as a pass because he's found Lawrence, looks to slip it through to Sterling, cut out by Bolton and out for a throw into Rangers on this near side. St Mirren do have a couple of new signings on the bench, including Jayden Brown, arrived yesterday, James Scott as well, as Sterling collects his scraps, rolls it to the edge of the box, right hand side of the D, it's Tavernier, takes a touch and shoots high over the bar, and it stays St Mirren 0, Rangers 1 on 48. But I guess for Stephen Robinson, David, it'll just be a case of try and keep plugging away, try and keep making chances. You never know, as long as you don't concede at the other end, there's an opportunity to potentially take points from this game.
Yeah, that's it, it's 1-0, you're always in the game. I think we'll see a couple of substitutions soon. I think he'll probably be desperate to get James Scott on, having worked with him before and knowing what he can do. And then obviously, you know, you need to take a chance eventually to try and get that equaliser, and that's when you become susceptible to, you know, losing another goal.
We're just talking about it not being a dirty game with no bookings. Well, Tom Lawrence is going to pick up one here for a look like his studs were up really against James Bolton, who's taken a sore when he's got back to his feet. So first yellow card of the match goes to Tom Lawrence. It's the kiss of death as usual, Kenny.
It absolutely was. I mean, I must say, we've been in these situations many a time, David. When the ball gets controlled and it kind of just breaks a bit too far away for the player trying to control it, and the ball's there to be won, the player clears it and you get caught on the way through, or he kicks the bottom of your boot, and it looks worse than probably what it is. Again, these days it probably is a booking, but the Tom Lawrence just on the field 4 minutes, it's a kind of harsh decision for me.
Free kick for St Mirren then, just 8 yards inside their own half.
I've never seen so many players in such a small area of the pitch, Liam, as well. Everybody's in a wee kind of 20-yard square there.
It's a high defensive line, isn't it? It's Hemming with it, headed away by Goldson at the edge of his box. Kwon, little header out to Kiltie. Wide on the left of the Rangers box. Kiltie shows a bit too much of it to Raskan, but it bounces off the Belgian and out for a St Mirren throw-in, level with the Rangers penalty spot, which is going to be left to Scott Tanser. Pulls it infield to his captain O'Hara. Low ball back the way to Fraser and then infield to Gogic. Dessers chasing him down. Alexander Gogic with a long ball out to this near side, looking for Bomono. Headed away by Yilmaz, out for a St Mirren throw-in. On the near side, Lewis Jamieson over it, takes it quickly, knocks it back there to Bolton. He wanted too long, and then Sterling tries to get onto it. And the little pull of the shirt there on John Sterling, and James Bolton's fortunate to get away with that. The ref's clearly not seen it, because it's not only a foul, it's a yellow as well for the professional foul. And it's St Mirren in possession out the left-hand side. driving forwards Tanser. McCausland trying to stick with him. Tanser goes down, no free kick, says the ref. Rangers in possession with Raskan.
I think the referee's lost his whistle, Liam. He's not wanting to give a free kick in the second half.
There's a free kick for both teams, not spotted there as Yilmaz looks to knock it through to Dessers. Cleared by St Mirren at the edge of their own box, breaks to Lawrence, takes a touch and shoots wide of the right hand post. Caught it well enough, didn't have the target though, which is what he was wanting, and it stays St Mirren 0, Rangers 1 on 51.
Yeah, it's a good opportunity for a player of Tom Lawrence's ability. 20 yards out, bang at the top of the box. You know, he's got the whole goal. He should be hitting target there and making the keeper work. He goes for that technique where you try and kind of hit it and get it dipping, that Ronaldo technique. He just gets it past the post.
Maybe a goal kick here for St Mirren to be taken by Zach Hemming. Be annoyed at his involvement in the Rangers goal. He'll be hoping his teammates can bail him out up the other end. It's a long ball from him which bounces over Jameson and out for a Rangers throw-in, level the edge of the D of their own box, back to Suter from Yilmaz. Suter with an up and under across his own half, chested down by Tavernier for Raskan. Just shimmies away from Kiltie, rolls it to Tavernier and up the line for McCausland, back to Tavernier, infield to Raskan, into McCausland's. The triangle of passes completed, but McCausland loses out, but O'Hara lost his footing. Allows McCausland back in. Now it's with Yilmaz looking for Dessers again. Gogic, as he so often is, in the right place there, the heart of the St Mirren defence to block as Jameson tries to take on Lundstrom down the right. Yilmaz is there to help him out as well though. And he gets it back to Butland, who slips as he distributes it, but he's found the chest to Suter, who knocks it in field. He's giving it straight to Kiltie though. Here's Jameson. Neither team looking particularly comfortable in possession right now. Rangers with a 1-0 lead on 52.5. It's Bolton out to the near side looking for Pomono, but Yilmaz read it and comes and clears and looks for Dessers. Dessers looking to take it down right hand side of the penalty area. Cyril Dessers, he's got some help from McCausland to his right. That's where it goes. McCausland's chip ball comes across, headed away by Fraser. Back to McCausland, now back with Tavernier. Controls, crosses, Sterling underneath it, but his header's well over. Real opportunity for Rangers. That move draws applause from their manager down below us. It stays though Saints 0, Rangers 1 on 53.
Yeah, all started for Yilmaz. Good aggressive front foot defending, taking it, putting a wonderful pass on the diagonal across to Dessers, who got it under control, brought McCausland into the play. And again, we've seen it, when James Tavernier has time and space, he's going to deliver more often than not and get it right on the money. And Sterling, I think maybe the wind just came at him a little bit too quick, but it was a good opportunity at the back post to get a header on target. It just gets it all wrong.
22 top flight meetings without a win for St Mirren over Rangers. It's the longest they've ever gone without a league win over the Glasgow club, happening currently. Also happened between 1911 and 1922. They don't win this one, there's a record broken as Dessers picks up right hand side of the box, shimmies away from his man, he's at the edge of the area, he turns and shoots and it just bounces off the post. Hemming dived full stretch there, got beyond him, clips the post and bounces straight back out, didn't even go out of play for the goal kick, and Rangers win it back in the midfield. Dessers unfortunate not to have made it 2-0 there. It stays at 1 though, as Fraser wins it back for the host. His pass forward cut out by Goldson though. Ayunga trying to get onto it, a very good first half, and he's onto it here up against Goldson. Just shows too much of it to Suter. There's a chance for St Mirren here if they can continue to get Jonah Ayunga involved. Just 2 goals for him this season, but there's a whole lot of other work in the final third. There's a cross in which Butland lets go over. I think he was a bit more comfortable than the Rangers fans behind him there as he goes behind for the goal kick. That could so easily have caught the wind and looped into the net. It stays 1-0 Rangers though, 10 into the second half.
Game's wide open now, isn't it? End-to-end stuff, but it's very sloppy. Both teams giving the ball away far too easily.
So I'm saying they don't look comfortable, either team.
Just here you go again.
Yeah, Lundstrom was judged to have been fouled by Kwon, seemed harsh. It's gone Rangers' way, free kick to the visitors. And it is Kwon getting involved, he's in a couple of those, and perhaps just getting a little word of warning from David Dickinson that the next one might result in a caution. It's going to be a free kick to Rangers. The team news from the other matches will be dropping in the next few minutes. You can catch all of that at bbc.co.uk/sportscotland, where the live text is going. Some huge matches to come at 3 o'clock, none more so than that one at Tynecastle between Hearts and Aberdeen, the match of the weekend. In the Premiership, you would have to say Celtic, Ross County, Kilmarnock, Hibs, Livingston, Dundee and St Johnstone Motherwell as well into the Championship. Dundee United hosting Dunfermline, Wraith Rovers hosting Cali Thistle. All the action to come across all 4 divisions of the SPFL, and we'll keep you up to date with all of that on Open All Mics from 3 o'clock. Sports in on air till 7, as it always is on a Saturday here on BBC Radio Scotland. We're embroiled in Paisley in the early kick-off. St Mirren 0, Rangers 1. A diving header away by Suter. Bomono gets onto it, knocks it forward first time. Goldson facing his own keeper, knees it back to Jack Butland, who just controls it with his feet anyway, even though he's allowed to pick it up on that occasion. He decides to play it short to Goldson, who takes it forward, side football out to Tavernier wide on the right on the halfway line. Asking too much of McCausland there as he drills it up the line, and Fraser gets back and finds his keeper, and Hemming clears, but he's given it straight to Raskan midway inside St Mirren territory. Raskan switches onto his right side, passing it short low along the grass to McCausland, in field to Tavernier. Tavernier gets the break of the ball, knocks it for goal. It's a comfortable take for Hemming. I think he was just trying to force it towards Cyril Dessers, and St Mirren unable to clear through Hemming, but his long ball goes all the way through to his opposite number, Butland.
Yeah, something they need to adjust. I mean, the first half, when they've got that wind against them, they could throw those types of balls up. They would hold up in the wind. It gave Ayunga a chance to battle alongside Suter and Goldson. This time it's just going to go all the way through, so they need to adjust their approach to get the ball up to Ayunga, then get the support.
Rangers in possession down the right. There's the cross ball in towards Sterling, away by Bomono. Kwon at the edge of the box, gets it back to his keeper, who nicks it away just before Sterling got there. And it's out of play for a throw-in on this near side to Rangers, who are going to make a change by the looks of things down below us, and it will be Ryan Jack who's going to come on for Nicholas Raskan, Kenny.
Yeah, again, this is Raskan's back. He's come back after an injury. Ryan Jack similar. He needs to get game time, he needs to get back up to speed. There's a lot of games to be played over this next couple of months, so Philip Clement will need his whole squad. So yeah, Ryan Jack will go in there alongside John Lundstrom, looking to maybe get the foot on the ball a little bit more, get a little bit more control of the second half.
Rangers have it with Butland at the edge of his box. It's a dangerous ball. He played out to the 18-yard line for Lundstrom, who dealt with it pretty well. Yilmaz with the nutmeg on Kwon. Down the left goes Yilmaz. Short ball out to Sterling. Rolls it infield to Lundstrom. Left to right of the centre circle for Jack, who's just on. Jack out to the right for Tavernier. And back to Ryan Jack. Out of contract at the end of the season. Comes to Yilmaz on the left. A little dink ball to the edge of the D of the St Mirren box. Is headed away by Gogic. Yilmaz picks it up. Lundstrom inside the centre circle. Not Yilmaz as an option, that's where it goes. Again to the left. Yilmaz out to Sterling. He's performed pretty well in that position this afternoon. Here's Lundstrom getting it back from Yilmaz. Back to Suter. Out to Yilmaz. Back it goes to John Suter. Rangers patient here. You know, as long as St Mirren don't have the ball, they can't hurt them. They lead 1-0. They played almost an hour. We're in the 60th minute. It comes down to Yilmaz down the left-hand side, but Pomono will let it go out for a throw-in for St Mirren deep inside their own half. They've not really managed to get the same kind of possession of the ball in the attacking third in the second half up to press St Mirren as they did in the first, and Rangers obviously hitting the post in the second half, a chance to go 2-0 up, but still, David, just the one goal behind St Mirren.
Yeah, they're still in it. It just seems that they've gone a little bit flat at the start of the second half, so just wondering, you know, Stephen Robinson, he must surely be thinking about making some substitutes just to liven things up a little bit, get some fresh legs on, because Rangers are starting to now dictate the game, that they're keeping the ball, they're keeping possession, and that's just going to make it more difficult then for St Mirren to try and get any grip in this game.
There's 4 goals conceded away from home in the league for Rangers, 2 of them at Celtic Park. There was the Miovski one at Pittodrie, and obviously the Brad Lyons goal that saw them beaten at Kilmarnock on the opening day of the season, as Lawrence picks it up from distance, shoots, it's scuffed, comes off a St Mirren foot though, and out for a Rangers corner. It was a touch fortuitous from Tom Lawrence's point of view, but Rangers will take it as they look to try and find the second goal that might just kill the game.
Yeah, Philip Clement want to get that goal. You know, they are pretty comfortable in the second half. I do think the conditions have kind of halted St Mirren's progress up the field. These longer passes are just running their way through, out for throw-ins, goal kicks, and then through to Jack Butland. But Rangers still want to get that second goal, just to give them that little bit of breathing space and make life a little bit more comfortable going into this last half hour.
It's not comfortable for us at the back of the main stand with the sun right now. Midwinter sun behind the stand. We are looking over to our left and where James Tavernier will take his corner towards on this main stand side. Rangers attacking the goal to the left. And it comes from the Rangers captain that hangs in the 6-yard box, diving header away, breaks to Jack at the edge of the area, rolls it back out to Tavernier on the near side, looks up, right foot angle, ball in was decent, it's headed away not once but twice by Bolton and then lashed over the crossbar by Lundstrom on the volley from the 18-yard line, and it stays on 61.5. St Mirren 0, Rangers 1.
Yeah, that was a really good corner in from James Tavernier. It dropped pretty much maybe about a yard or two for the goal, right at the back, inside the back post. You'd expect a Rangers player to be at least attacking that and try and put Gogic under a bit of pressure. Interesting ploy actually with Philippe Clement. Like every corner I think he hit in the first half of the season was an out-swinger, and since he came back after the break, everyone's been an in-swinger. James Tavernier obviously taking it in that one there. Little change up in over that winter break in their preparations in La Manga.
Long ball from Hemming, out of play for a throw-in on this near side for St Mirren. Stephen Robinson, as ever, kicks just about every ball. Always ask the question, David, I wonder how many steps Stephen Robinson does on a match-by-match basis in that technical area. They are going to make a change shortly. And Junger's been brought down. It's going to be a free kick midway inside the Rangers half, right to centre. A chance to put pressure on the Rangers defence with wind behind them. We'll get Martin to confirm the St Mirren double change it's going to be whenever they're going to make it. I think they'll wait until this free kick's done before they do so. But he's so animated, isn't he, down there, Stephen Robinson?
Non-stop, isn't he? Non-stop.
Tired watching him.
He must have some headache after the game.
Jameson takes the free kick for St Mirren with the left foot, comes off Suter's head, goes back towards his own goal. Butland prevents the corner, which the St Mirren fans are appealing for. They're not getting it. And it's Tavernier over on the right. He slips as he passes the ball forward towards McCausland. It's gone out for a St Mirren throw. Kwan knocking it back off the Northern Irishman. And St Mirren will now make their changes. Double change coming up. Martin Dowden.
It is a double change, Liam, and it's a very offensive double change. It will be Mikael Mandron coming on alongside new signing James Scott, and it will be Jona Ayunga making way for that, and Lewis Jameson also coming off the park.
Ayunga was good in the first half. He's not really been as involved in the second, David, and that's probably what's cost him his place in the team right now. And Mandron, the top scorer, comes on.
Yeah, he just hasn't had the service, to be fair. You know, Kenny touched on it. You know, you have to kind of change the balls you play up to him because the wind is behind him this half. So yeah, it's great shift in the first half, but he just hasn't had the service in the second half. So yeah, positive change for St Mirren.
Yeah, and Kenny was talking about James Scott, who's going to get a chance to work under Stephen Robinson, who he did so at Motherwell early in his career. He's on loan from Exeter, still just 23, and clearly a talent there, Kenny, and this is a big loan move for him.
Yeah, he's trying to find his feet again and kind of kickstart his career. He's got his good move from Motherwell down south.
Yeah, went to Hull as the cross ball from Tanzer's off target, was the wrong side of the crossbar and behind for a goal kick.
And
the Rangers.
And he's had a few clubs down there. He's thinking it's not quite worked. Maybe lost his way a little bit. Now coming back up, working with a manager he knows well, and the manager knows the player very well, how to get the best out of him. Again, just going back on that Junga change, I'm actually surprised. I think Connor Golson and John Suter will be absolutely delighted that he's been taken off in this game.
It was causing them real havoc in the first half in particular. And it's a different prospect now with the big number 9, Mandron, coming on. Formerly of Motherwell as well. 6 goals this season, that's enough to be St Mirren top scorer. As O'Hara turns it out to the far side, he's got 5 goals this season, the captain. Into Tanzer, long ball, but it's pretty aimless in the end, and it's going to go behind for the goal kick. It's just a bit scrappy again, and clearly the weather's going to play its part in that. But the standard out there has dropped in the last 10 minutes or so. What we saw in the first half, it wasn't the worst first half in the world. St Mirren were pretty well bedded into the game as well, despite trailing, and they do still trail by that Cyril Dessers goal on 14 minutes to 0. It's with Pomono on this near side. Pressure coming here from Sterling. He catches Pomono, and that's going to be a free kick to St Mirren out on the touchline on the near side, and Dujon Sterling has been spoken to by referee Dickinson. That's all it is. But the Ugandan Pomono felt the brunt of that down on this near side. He was a youth player at Queen's Park Rangers. As the guys were saying in the first half, he looks as though he could be useful for St Mirren this season. As Ryan Strain would normally be playing in that position. He's been out injured since the start of last month, and not likely to see him again till the start of March, end of February. Missed out the opportunity to go to the Asian Cup as well, where he would have been, you would imagine. Dessers has just knocked the ball off Hemmings. The ref wants to speak to the Rangers number 9 after that. Not sure why he needs to bring him out to the touchline, but he is. Show of authority. I think Dessers' point is that the free kick's not being taken from the position where the foul was. And he's speaking to both Dessers and Hemming, telling Dessers to get out of the way now. It's going to be a St Mirren free kick. 1-0 to Rangers, 67 on the clock. And it looks as though they're going to try and get Pomono back on as soon as this free kick's taken. Indeed, on he comes, Hemming with it, along with the right foot to the edge of the Rangers box. Awkward, Mandron gets it down towards Scott, whose effort's blocked. And it breaks out to this near side. It's going to drop back to this St Mirren right. And there is Scott on it, back out to Pomono. Field it goes. And then into the centre circle, just back inside his own half for Marcus Fraser. Out to the left-hand side for Tanzers, driving forward as he loves to do, but he runs into trouble, and Rangers able to get it away. McCausland with it. The Saints fans felt his boot was high. The referee disagrees. Kilty trying to work some space. He eventually comes out to Tanzer. Kilty inside the area, hooks it towards the 6-yard box, headed clear by Yilmaz. Sterling knocks it away. Pomono flicks it with his back to goal towards the 18-yard line. Mandron's pass is cut out by McCausland, and it breaks back to Jack Butland with Scott Tanzer trying to get onto it down the left-hand side. Again, it's really decent build-up play by St Mirren. All started primarily with Greg Kilty at the edge of the penalty area, with Mandron and Scott causing the Rangers defence problems as well, but it all breaks down, and now it's Yilmaz down the left looking for the run of Sterling. Pomono's the covering player for St Mirren, and he sees it behind, down by the corner flag for a throw-in. Saints hemmed in here as we approach 69 minutes. 1-0 to Rangers it remains. And I said in the first half, Kenny, that Philippe Clermont might be quite happy just to get out of here with a 1-0 win, given the conditions and everything else.
Yeah, I think you'd rip your hand off for it now, just the way the game's going. It is a little bit scrappy. Again, I'll say it again, he would love to get that second goal, but if he leaves here today in Paisley with 3 points, then he'll be absolutely delighted. It's job done, it's another game ticked off, and we said right at the top of the show, they need to handle their own business, and that would result in that. So yeah, we'd be delighted to get away with the 1-0.
Rangers have it with Tavernier driving forward, finding Lawrence at the edge of the box. The challenge is really good and really important from Kwan, because that stopped Tom Lawrence, and he had options to slide the ball through, potentially have a shot at goal himself as well. So that's a really good defensive intervention by Kwan. It's out for a Rangers throw-in on this near side. Rangers currently sitting on the same number of points as they were at this stage last season. Celtic are worse off to the tune of 7, which is why there's more of a battle at the top right now. Sterling winning it back for Rangers now with Yilmaz. Infield for Lawrence. Back it comes to Yilmaz, to Lundstrom, and then Suter goes back into his own half. As I said, the team news from the other matches, including those ones at Tynecastle and Celtic Park, available at bbc.co.uk/sportscotland. Hearts against Aberdeen, what a huge game that is. It always is. Celtic Ross County. As it stands, Rangers will move back to within 2 of the champions ahead of that game. Here comes Tavernier down the right and winning the throw-in off Tanzer. Midway inside the St Mirren half. McCausland takes back to Tavernier. Low ball infield to Jack, side foot looking for Lawrence in behind Gogic. Forced wide right of the box though. Back out low it comes to McCausland, then infield for Tavernier, for Jack, and then Lundstrom. Lundstrom then rolls it with the right foot, back out to that far side for Lawrence. Lundstrom then to Jack. Centre point of the pitch, midway inside the St Mirren half. Disguises the ball for Lawrence at the edge of the area. Now it's with Sterling, who finds Yilmaz to his left. Rangers enjoying some possession here. Into the final 20 we go of 90. Jack forward to Sterling, he's at the edge of the area, slides it to the right there, and it's Lawrence, chops onto the left foot, blocked. And then clear by Bomono. Up towards halfway, Mandron gives chase, Suta gets there first and dumps it onto the roof of the main stand in front of us. And it will stay Saints 0, Rangers 1. And it looks as though another little shake-up from Stephen Robinson, Martin.
Yeah, it will be another change. It will be Kwon making way, who had that excellent chance in the first half. And it will be Caelan Boyd-Munce coming on to freshen up that midfield.
He dropped out of the starting 11 today, the man from Belfast, Caelan Boyd-Munce. Arrived here after a year with Middlesbrough. 23 this month. He's on and into the centre of the pitch. Throw in from Bolton, goes straight though to Jack, battles with it, wins it ahead of Scott, but it's a poor ball by Ryan Jack, straight to Tanser over on the left hand side. Tanser in field to Kiltie, back it comes, dreadful attempted ball into the box which crashes off the crossbar of the stand, if you like, there from James Bolton. That's going to be a goal kick to Rangers with less than 18 minutes left. Is he comfortable down there, Philippe Clermont, right now, Kenny?
Listen, he certainly looks it, but he's, I think David says right at the start of the second half, as long as it's 1-0, you've always got that chance. When you're going into the last 18 minutes, 17-18 minutes, it just needs a mistake like there was for the Rangers goal, a miscommunication in the back line, a set play, something to drop for St Mirren and they actually take their chance, you know, and it could be drop points. That's why, as much as he would love a 1-0, he would absolutely love to get this second goal and really put this game to bed.
Rangers on the attack, McCausland winning the throw-in level with a 6. Sorry, David.
No, I just feel Rangers, they just feel really comfortable just now in the game. They're in control of it. St Mirren haven't threatened really this half at all. I think they needed to make that change in the middle of the park. Kwon was starting to look a little bit leggy, he wasn't getting as tight to people, and that was allowing Rangers to have more possession of the ball.
Second yellow of the afternoon arrives, and it's John Lundstrom who picks it up for a foul on Gogic. He joins Tom Lawrence in the book. I'm interested, Kenny, what does it tell you about a manager when he stands there and watches the entire warm-up ahead of the game? You don't always see the managers out there. Philippe Clermont stands in the dugout and watches every single bit of that warm-up before the matches.
Yeah, I just think he wants to get out and get a feel for how his players are looking. Listen, he's picked his team at that point, so I doubt he would go and make any change if he's seen something he never liked. But it must be for him. He must like to get out and see his team moving, see how their performance, see how they are in the warm-up, because at least it can maybe reference it in the last kind of bit of information if he felt it looked good or things needed to improve. That maybe he never thought there were certain players that were quite up to standards in the warm-up. But like you say, every game he's out there watching every single kick of the ball.
Players will notice it and they'll perhaps perform better with that in mind in the match itself. At the warm-up tours, Bomono tries to cross towards the near post. Butland holds on to it comfortably though.
That's the next bit, though. The players know he's doing it, so they know they need to be right on. They know they can't take their foot off the gas or just go through the motions of the warm-up. They need to make sure they're prepped right.
Yeah, because with all respect, sometimes when you're watching warm-ups, the players, you can see them not quite mucking around, but you can see they're perhaps saving everything for the kick-off.
Well, listen, some again might not put a certain level of importance on the warm-up because it's game time and they're focused on that, but you've got your manager there standing, making sure you're going through the paces properly. And it's even for the subs as well, because you see sometimes the subs maybe don't quite do as much in the warm-up, or there's no switched on because they're not playing.
Here come Rangers with a 1-0 lead, and with Ridvan Yilmaz down the left-hand side. It's an early ball towards the back post, looking for Dessers, put behind for the corner. And more angst on the face of Stephen Robinson down below us. He knows another goal for Rangers would settle it, and they've got an opportunity from the corner over on that far side. It's been difficult for both sets of players today because of the conditions. Rangers are 15 minutes plus stoppages away from another 3 points and a 4th win in the bounce since their defeat at Celtic Park. Yilmaz over there to take it. In swinger with a left foot coming up from the Rangers left back, who's keeping Borna Barisic out of the team just now. Barisic just going for a little warm-up down below us. Yilmaz with the corner, it's headed away. Mandron might have been in amongst all that as well. St Mirren clear their line. Stephen Robinson telling his players to push up. That's exactly what they're doing. It's with Jack Butland who hits it long with the right foot. Again, it kind of sticks in the wind. And a little bit easier for Bolton to know where the ball was coming. Boyd Muntz finds O'Hara. Back to Gogic and then back to his keeper. Hemming hits it first time. Into the Rangers half. Suter gets his head onto under pressure from Mandron. Puts it out for a St Mirren throw-in. Midway inside Rangers territory on this main stand side. Taken quickly by Buomono. Picked up here by Scott. He's got 2 Rangers players around him. He's managed to shuffle and get the cross in, but it's clear by Suter. Again onto the roof of the stand. It'll be a throw into St Mirren. New ball quickly bowled away by Buomono there to Bolton. Back to O'Hara. Looks up, right foot angled ball. Hangs in the wind again. It's flicked behind for the corner by Tavernier, because he didn't know what was going on behind him. And in fairness, Greg Kiltie was in and around that position. So St Mirren have a corner here. They trail Rangers by 1-0.
He actually dealt with that really well, Tavernier. It's such a tricky one. The wind is taking the ball towards the goal, and Kiltie, as you said, was right behind him. If he didn't deal with that, he was, having a free shot at goal there.
Greg Kiltie to take, in swinger with the right foot as Saints attack the goal to the right, and it comes, it's half away. There's a claim for handball. Rangers are a few bodies in the way. It comes back to Kiltie, low ball towards goal is cut out by his own man, and it's cleared by Rangers. Dessers does well, he's held it up against Buomono and he fires it forward looking for McCausland, but it breaks all the way through to Hemming. Marcus Fraser got in the road of that Greg Kiltie shot. Seems to be okay after it. Well, that's St Mirren threatening in the attacking third, and they'll have to do lots more of that if they're to take anything from this game. Long ball from Hemming, headed out for a throw by Suter on this near side. It's certainly been a good performance by St Mirren, and Stephen Robinson will no doubt afterwards, if they don't get anything out of it, you'll argue that they should it. They had one in particular gilt-edged opportunity in the first half, spurned by Kwon. Having a little look at that handball I mentioned earlier on, so let's wait and see. We don't have monitors here. Guys in the studio perhaps be able to help us out with that one. But are St Mirren going to be handed a chance for an equaliser? David Dickinson says no, game on. So a very quick check. And no penalty. Throw in St Mirren to be taken here by Bolton down the right-hand side, flicked in by Scott, blocked by Lundstrom and cleared up into the air. Again, the wind catches it. O'Hara with a header forward to Kiltie. Now it's with Mandron. Rolls it back to Bolton, out to Buomono on this near side. They tried to find a teammate down the line, but it's straight to Yilmaz, who clears up towards the halfway line. And a foul by Gogic, and Dessers is the referee, and you can hear from the St Mirren fans around about us in the main stand here. They do not agree with that decision. Gogic has become embroiled with the likes of Lawrence, Lundstrom and Dessers. He doesn't feel that was a foul. And it's going to be a free kick to Rangers right on the halfway line. There's been a few opportunities for the St Mirren fans to have a go at the officials this afternoon. That's the latest. We are approaching the final 10 in Paisley. Rangers lead since the 14th minute remaining intact. Little ball out to that right-hand side for Tavernier. And he goes all the way back to his keeper. Butland playing it short to John Suter. Just rolling it to his right for Goldson and back to Butland. Butland's ball into the midfield. Dujon Sterling takes it down. His pass though didn't have enough on it to get to Lawrence, and it's Boyd Muntz winning it back, and then Gogic rolling it to his left. Here is Marcus Fraser, just inside his own half. His long ball's easy for Goldson. He heads it out for a throw-in on the far side to the home team. We are into the final 10 of 90. Rangers 1-0 up. Sterling picks up a loose ball in the midfield. Back to Suter, and then out to Ridvan Yilmaz on this near side. And he knocks it off Buomono and out for a throw-in for Rangers. Well, you can tell by the demeanour of the St Mirren manager, he clearly feels that there's still something in this for his team, and he's going to look to his bench for one final time to try and shake a result out of what is currently a defeat. Martin.
Yeah, interesting one. This is Charles Dunn who's coming onto the park, and Mark O'Hara, the captain, will make way. So clearly a change of shape coming here, and we'll see how that pans out.
Yeah, you'll probably see Gogic just moving up into midfield, and Dunn will go back into the back line alongside Fraser and Bolton.
First appearance since the 9th of December for Charles Dunn. Game against Ross County, hasn't had his injury problems to seek. Even in his latter days at Motherwell, he was on the sidelines more often than he would have liked to have been. An entire season out at one point. Sterling finds Lawrence, fouled by Dunn. Free kick Rangers. Left to centre. Level with the edge of the centre circle. And Lundstrom's playing it short to Lawrence. Closing stages here in Paisley, live on Sportsound and BBC Radio Scotland. With the open all mics, 3 o'clock action to come. Less than an hour. Team news at the website. We'll have some pre-match thoughts from some of the camps as well before the kick-offs. And Rangers are going to make a change shortly as well, but it's gone out of play for the St Mirren goal kick meantime. Charles Dunn coming on. David, and obviously Gogic does move into the midfield. That's where we grew accustomed to seeing him, of course, at Hamilton, Hibs, and he's just been so good at centre-back, the centre point of the back three for St Mirren, that it's difficult to take him out of it.
It is. He's been fantastic today as well. He's done really well against Dessers. Just felt that might have been an opportunity if O'Hara was coming off to maybe push Gogic into midfield and maybe stick another striker on you. Less than 10 minutes left. You've got nothing to lose. You know, you need to go for it now.
It is a St Mirren throw-in, taken on this right-hand side. Bolton's flicked on there by Scott. Mandron going after it, and it's going to go out for a Rangers throw. Under pressure from Suter. And Yilmaz will take the throw, or at least he was going to, but Martin Dowden can perhaps tell us why he won't be.
Well, he definitely won't be, because he's coming off the pitch. He will be replaced by Born or Barisic, and I wonder if that's a response to St Mirren bringing on Charles Dunn and maybe trying to benefit from set pieces into the Rangers box, a bit more height at the back line for Rangers.
No great aggression, no, I would say Born or Barisic, but you know, again, it's him coming back as well for an injury, you know, getting up to speed. I think he'll come back, he'll be looking to push Young Maz for that position at left back in the Rangers team. By the way, maybe even Young Maz might be on the way out, you know, so Borna needs to get some game time and get back up to speed.
Yeah, he hasn't started since the League Cup final last month. Barisic, saw him briefly against Dumbarton last week. There'll be a throw in on this near side for Rangers. Barisic's going to take in this game. He's kind of petering out a little bit, you feel. That'll suit the visitors more than it will suit the hosts. Just over 6 minutes left. Rangers with Sterling at the edge of the box. And he's under pressure from Gogic. Still go back the way, finds Jack. Finds Suter. Goes back to Goldson, who in turn goes back to Butland. Inside his box, shifting it to the right of it now. Mandron, the closest St Mirren player. Rifles it forward high with the right foot. And an offside flag's going up against one of the Rangers players, either Dessers or Lawrence. That's a free kick to St Mirren. The clock is against the team in black and white.
I think you've got to give a lot of credit to Rangers and how they've managed this second half. They've not gave St Mirren, you know, a chance on goal. Difficult first half for them, but they've came out in the second half and yeah, they've controlled possession and limited St Mirren's chances.
Next up for St Mirren is a trip to Hibs next Saturday. Rangers are going to have a hectic fixture schedule, that's for sure, coming up. They've a home game against Livingston a week today. Here comes Scott for St Mirren. He's got the cross ball and breaks to Gogic, and it's a wonderful sliding block challenge by John Suter. He might just have prevented St Mirren equalising there. It stays 1-0 Rangers. The final 5 of 90. Outstanding from the Scotland international.
Absolutely was. Good play to Scott on this side. A couple of step overs and puts a ball into a dangerous ball into the area, and it just looked for all when it broke to Gogic. Maybe he's just going to smash out the goal, but Suter just puts his body on the line, gets the block. Opportunity for St Mirren for the corner.
He scored that winner against Queen of the South last week in the cup. In comes the corner towards the back post. They've hit the post as well. The header was outstanding. Really good delivery towards the back stick. James Bolton met it flush and Rangers come away in the counter. Desser's looking for it. St Mirren defend it brilliantly. And James Bolton so close to equalising.
Just when you speak about limiting St Mirren to chances, 2 brilliant chances there. Brilliant corner kick. I actually thought it was maybe going to go out for a goal kick. So the wind caught it. Brilliant header, and he's very unfortunate. Cannons off the crossbar.
He hasn't scored this season, James Bolton. Stephen Robinson will be reliving that just now. You can see him down there. He knows how good a chance that was to try and take a point out of this one. Glorious chance.
And that's what they've been waiting for, is it? We've said it. They've not been great in the second half. They've fought, they've stayed in the game, and they've been waiting for that moment, you know. And there's 2 within a minute, one that led to the corner and one directly from the corner, where he might have just been stretching and trying to get to go. Like David says, it was definitely kind of bending out the pitch. Done great to go on the end here.
Rangers free kick meantime up the other end. Banisic with the left foot's going to take this into the St Mirren box. It comes, it's not a great delivery, but it squirms its way through to the 6-yard box where it's cleared by Tanser. Lawrence trying to get onto it. He's just going to let it go for a throw, and Rangers are going to make a change. Martin Dowden.
It will be Rabbi Matondo coming into the play. Rangers probably looking to use his pace to take the ball up the park, and coming off will be Dujon Sterling, who's been operating on that left-hand side.
All the 3 o'clock action to come for you. Remember, on Open All Mics, bbc.co.uk/Sports Scotland. The live text there will have all the team news. We'll get that as well on the radio when we're done here. Hearts Aberdeen, Celtic Ross County, Kilmarnock Hibs, Livingston Dundee, St Johnstone Motherwell. In the Championship, the likes of Dundee United, Dunfermline, Raith Rovers, Caley Thistle, Partick Thistle are at Airdrie Orients. And all the scores as they come in from across the country from 3 o'clock. We're 45 minutes away from those games starting. We are just over 2 minutes away from the 90 minutes being completed here, with Rangers leading by 1-0. Mandron under pressure from 2 Rangers players, Jack and Matondo, who's just on. St Mirren managed to pinch it back in the midfield. It's Marcus Fraser who's got the captain's armband since Mark O'Hara went off. Out to the far side, Tanser keeps it in play, hooks it up the line where it's cleared, battered up high into the air by Tavernier. Underneath it's Marcus Fraser with a header. Tavernier will let it go out for a throw-in over on that far side. Rangers just trying to see it out here. They got away with a couple earlier. One was excellent defending by Suter, the other was Bolton heading flush off it looked like the kind of junction of bar and post from that corner. It was an awkward one for Butland with the wind taking it towards Bolton, but he couldn't find the target, and Rangers come away here with Jack, the edge of the penalty area. Jack then back onto his right hand side, goes back onto his left and finds Matondo on the 18-yard line, looking for the overlapping Barisic. It's a poor ball. As he prevented the goal kick? I think he has. And they're throwing to St Mirren. It wasn't an easy ball for Barisic to be able to deal with, as we tick into minute 90 at St Mirren Park. What have Saints got left? This has been a hard-fought 3 points for Rangers, if indeed it is to be 3 points. You can hear the attendance in the background, just over 6,500 inside the stadium here in Renfrewshire. Bomono's header goes out to play for a throw-in on this near side, which Barisic is going to take. And the sponsors' man of the match here goes to Gogic, and as Fanzi was saying there just a few moments ago, he has been excellent again for the home team. And St Mirren under a bit of pressure here. Dessers, he loses out, and it's launched away up towards Mandron, who goes down. No free kick, it's James Scott, but he loses out to Lundstrom, but it's still alive here. And Boyd Muntz with a long raking ball down the left goes Scott Tanser. He gets onto it as well. It's an excellent pass. Tanser with Tavernier to deal with, forcing it back the way. St Mirren looking for a way through. We're into stoppage time. 3 minutes have been added. The ball comes into the box for Kiltie. Back to Gogic. Gogic with a delicate chip right to this near side. It's Pomono with the cross, and then the header from Kiltie was harmlessly well wide of target, and he's looking for a reason why that happened, and it stays 1-0 Rangers. It's a chance again for St Mirren, though. They're in the final third and they're causing problems for the Rangers defence.
Yeah, Kiltie's just a little bit heavy on his touch back to lay it off. I kind of held up the flow of the attack, and again it's a decent ball into the box, but Kiltie again on the end of it just doesn't get enough on his header and directed towards goal.
Just 3 minutes added. We're well into the first of them, and here's Tom Lawrence coming forward for Rangers here. Back to Lundstrom, to his left for Jack, back to Lundstrom again. Lundstrom out to Barisic, and out wide left it comes for Matondo. Matondo finds Jack under pressure from Gogic and going down, and Rangers have a free kick. Jack reacts to the Gogic challenge, and then they go chest to chest, and the referee's going to book the Saints manager Stephen Robinson as well. His reaction to that decision by David Dickinson. Yeah, and that's just frustration from the Saints boss. Kind of senses that the game's up here.
Well, listen, he wants the ball at the other end, you know. It's like at the moment the game just kind of, Rangers just running the clock down. They're going to see the game out. He needs to get a hold of the ball. He needs to get it up the other end of the pitch and try and put Rangers under pressure.
He's still complaining to the fourth official, George Calder, down there, the St Mirren manager. The ball to the edge of the Saints box from the Rangers free kick is cleared. We're heading in towards the final minute of the 3 that were added. It's a long ball up towards Mandron. He's giving chase. He's not going to get there, though. Goldson will chaperone it behind for the goal kick, to the delight of the Rangers supporters, who sense that they are now very close to the victory. They're a minute away from it, and it will be a 4th consecutive win since the Derby defeat at Celtic Park, and it will reduce the arrears at the top of the table down to just a couple of points, ahead of Celtic hosting Ross County at 3 o'clock. Jack Butland will take, but the ball is not where St Mirren want it to be right now. It's in Rangers' possession, and it's the Rangers keeper who's going to launch this one forward with about 30 seconds less than that to go. Long ball out to this near side, out for a St Mirren throw-in. Bowled forward down towards Scott. Good diving header again by John Souttar, who's been excellent again today, most notably with that goal-saving block from Gogic. The throw-in, the flick on by Mandron, the clearance from Souttar. The referee blows the final whistle, and it is victory for Rangers in Paisley. Cyril Dessers has been much maligned by the Rangers supporters at times this season, has come up with the goal that settles things in Renfrewshire. 14 minutes in, misjudged by Zach Hemming, the Saints keeper. Dessers went round him and rolled it into the empty net. That was the only goal of the game. St Mirren's best chance in the first half came from the on-loan Celtic midfielder Kwon, as he fired high and wide when he really ought to have been hitting the target at least and testing Butland. He couldn't, despite having decent attacking spells in the first half. Saints couldn't find the net. They couldn't find it in the second half either. Their best opportunities were late in that match. Alexander Gogic with the shot, blocked superbly by John Souttar. That could be huge, because that could have been the difference between picking up 3 points and just 1 today. The Scotland international raced in, saw the danger, and blocked Gogic's effort. From the resultant corner, James Bolton headed off the post at the back stick. When the corner came in, it looked as though Bolton was about to salvage a point for Stephen Robinson's men. It wasn't to be for them. They will look at Hibs next week and try and get back on track, having lost to Celtic last time out. They've got these 2 fixtures out of the way here. For Rangers, it's the bottom side, Livingston at Ibrox next up for them. A hard-fought 3 points, and they've got Cyril Dessers to thank for them. It finished in Paisley. St Mirren 0, Rangers 1.